They're calling Bill Maher and Russell Brand right wing now. If Bill Maher and Russell Brand are right wing, what exactly is left wing anymore?
They don't understand. I came up in this nuclear terranium of this UFC world. I grew every time I had a fight and a loss. You don't think I felt that a little extra in front of the whole world?
People are not living their lives right now. Everything is through the filter of, is my opinion acceptable to the people I hope it's acceptable to?
If you're a boy and want to be a girl,
go for it.
Okay, go for it. Great.
Go for it.
Good.
Go for it.
Should you be smacking up all these women in the fucking
I don't
sports?
know about that, though. At the end of the day, you're going to go down and you're laying in the dirt and you're going to be like, well, at least I didn't say anything that upset the sponsors.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Nah, man, we're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
I would like to fight Bruce Lee and The Rock because I'm big fans of both of them and I would whoop both their asses.
You would whoop The Rock's ass?
Don't give me a fucking weird face. I'm going to come over there. Fucking rack.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Episode 2 of the Mggm podcast.
We rolling.
AKA Slick and Thick. I am with Slick, the
Slick
Mick.
and Thick.
Slick the Mick. It's Mickey, Gall, Gerard, Michaels. Dude, I've been podcasting a long time. I've been doing this for a while. I've never been a meme. You have your first podcast, the first topic of your first podcast.
Bro, we became a meme on
and you're
the first topic of the first podcast. So check out my shirt real quick. Can you see that? See that?
Yeah, man. Dude.
Rocking my son right here.
Dude. So it's just, dude, that was not contrived. So the people that don't know, we're going to go over a lot of topics today. We got
people are like, you guys are clout chasing and stuff. Dude. Like, not. Like, you brought up, for whatever reason.
We're going to talk about a lot of things today, man. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court, not knowing what it means to be a woman. We're going to talk about New York City vaccine exemptions for athletes. We're going to talk inflation. We're going to shout out to St. Peter's, Shaneen Holloway, Jersey City in the building.
Go.
We're gonna go get into gaslighting and globalist takeovers and some cool things you probably didn't know about ancient Rome. We got so many topics that we're going to cover today. It's going to be all over the place. But before we get into any of that, we got to get into, you would fuck Bruce Lee up.
Yeah, dude. All right, so here we go.
This became headline news in the MMA community.
Everywhere. Yeah, bro. That thing got picked up by everywhere. Everyone thought we were like cloud chasing, trying to make noise.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so here's the thing. First of all, everybody whose opinion I respect agreed with me. Everybody who has no right to an opinion disagreed.
Everybody who thought...
The only people who disagreed have no right to an opinion, have no understanding of what they're talking about, you know what I mean?
Everybody who thought I would win, I agreed with.
No, everyone who everyone who I have respect, for, everyone in the gym, everyone who knows fighting, everyone who this and that. Anyone, you know what I mean? But like the only people, it was very interesting.
I know.
It
was interesting how serious people took like a silly thing.
Dude, like, yeah, and I get it. Like, I get how, like, how emphatically and confidently and cockily I was like, dude, like, and I guess as someone who, like, that would be a surprise to, could take it, like, a certain way, but, man, that's their own stupidity. That's their own, like, lack of knowledge. That's their own ignorance. Dude, is why they took it offensively.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's because you're a cool dude and you look smaller. You look like a Hollister model on camera, bro. Like that's the problem. When we were hanging out, I'm messing around with Mickey. We're hanging out, and I'm like, so could you beat Chuck Norris? So could you beat? I'm throwing all. He finally just like rolls his eyes. He goes, dude, I'm a professional fighter.
Yeah. Look,
this is how I make my living.
Dude, it's so funny. I like how you said I'm a full 5th grader bigger than Bruce Lee.
You are a full-ass 5th grader bigger than Bruce Lee. People have no idea. People have no concept.
But look,
that's the truth. They have no concept
there's a history here, too. There's a little history here. When I was before I fought Sage Northcutt, I was doing, like, the UFC does, like, their media team does, like, these, like, questions and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they go, anyone alive or dead, who would you like to be able to fight? And my answer was, I would like to fight. And so I'm like 20, this is 6 years ago, whatever. 24 years old. I'm like, I would like to fight Bruce Lee and The Rock because I'm big fans of both of them and I would whoop both their asses.
You would whoop The Rock's ass? He is a large mammal.
Bro.
This man.
He will, after a minute and 15 seconds, he'll be gasping for his life.
Dwayne The Rock
if he
Johnson.
makes it that far. Bro, come on, dude. Here we go. Here's the next one. Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes. What's he gonna do to me?
Hit you with the rock bottom.
Exactly.
He's gonna,
my point.
The rock bottom is just a little Sorogari, bro. Like I mean, like
I will evade it.
What would you do, dude? He's too well.
All right, so look, you're right. He's big. He's big,
pounds.
and he's gonna be stronger than me. He's gonna be stronger.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
Why you picking? Also, why you picking on old people? The man's like 50 something.
But I also said I'm big fans of them. I don't know, and honestly, I was just put on the
who I
spot.
love.
I was put on the spot to answer a question, and that's
Yeah.
I was like, like Bruce Lee's a legend. He's they dead or alive.
Yeah.
The Rock, whatever, dude. I don't fucking know. But you know what? I still feel the same way. I don't think I've lost a step. I know I've only gotten way better.
Yeah.
And if I would have had him then, and The Rock loved it. He like responded, was like, oh, I love this tough bastard.
Really?
Yeah. He was like and then after I got the win, he's like, hey, tequila's on me. So The Rock still owes me some tequila.
He owes you tequila?
We gotta have some tequila drinks. But Terramana, The Rock, if he wants to sponsor the podcast as well.
Dude, I'm a huge Rock fan. I gotta be honest with you, man. As much as I like you, I might be room for the Rock in that fight.
Well, you'd be sorely mistaken. You'd
Really?
be sad. You'd be disappointed.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know.
I know you don't know.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
You don't know. I know.
It's The Rock, man. It's Dwayne. It's
Yeah.
Dwayne.
No, I love The Rock. I was more of a Stone Cold guy.
Yeah.
But no, I fuck with The Rock
Dude.
heavy. The Rock. I hope The Rock becomes the next president.
You think so?
Rock Rogan.
Rock Rogan?
Rock Rogan 2024. What y'all say?
I'll be all right with that.
A Rogan Rock.
So, yeah, man. So, dude, it's like it's hilarious to me because really that all came from literally the first thing that came up when my friends Googled you was Bruce Lee
Yeah.
in a video game in the metaverse.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
you
there
actually-
really
and
isn't
you-
that much of a debate. Like, it's anyone who's smart and understands.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, Bruce Lee himself said, someone with Western boxing,
How would-
which is boxing.
how would you beat The Rock?
Let me fucking
How would you
finish.
beat
How about
The
you
Rock?
let me fucking finish for a fucking second? Bruce Lee said, hey, I'm less than 2 weeks out of my fight, so I am noticing I'm a little irritable.
You're irritable.
I'm a little irritable.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You got. All I'm saying is you got the race car in red. You don't want the race car in red.
Tiger's
Jules.
not going back in the cage. I'm ready to fucking fight. All right? I'm ready to kill or be killed.
Yeah.
That's my
Hey,
shit
save
right
it
now.
for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast.
I burped in the car the other day. He
Save
said,
it
save it for the
podcast.
podcast. This dickhead. So look.
How would you beat Bruce Lee? What would you do?
All right. Yeah. Listen. Bruce Lee said himself. He said someone with Western boxing and wrestling could defeat him in a fight. He said that back, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So like, where'd Bruce Lee wrestle? Nowhere. Where, you know what I mean? Like, what Bruce Lee, like he had Jeet Kune Do, which is the ideas of mixed martial arts. He did. I had the book. I have the book. Him starting like understanding some positions like arm bars and certain things, but the practicality and putting all that to use, he didn't do it. It wasn't around then. There wasn't people to test that do all these things. There's people with one, art. And even the beginning of UFC in the 90s was someone was specialists. Someone with one art, like. You had jiu-jitsu guy versus the karate guy versus the boxer, and it was really cool. But that's just not the game anymore. Now you have to be world class in all categories. You got to have great world class Muay Thai, world class boxing, world class wrestling, world class jiu-jitsu, or you're gonna get exposed somewhere.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like that's on all levels of mixed martial arts now. It's just the game has changed. The game has evolved.
But I think
and Bruce Lee said. So back then, someone with Western boxing and wrestling. And listen, with The Rock, what I do The Rock, I'd probably jab in his face, clinch him. He'd like try some big moves, and like maybe we'd end up on the ground. And if we ended up on the ground, I'd transition to a position that because I've been doing this I have over 10,000 hours of. I'm gonna transition to probably his neck, and I'm gonna gently like hold his neck, and he's gonna either tap out or. Yeah.
Would you ask for consent when you took the routes back? Would you ask him to consent to the back?
I would consent. I'd be like, Rock, you on this? Rock, you on this? I love you, bro. You know I'm a fan. You know I'm ready. And then I'd fuck him up.
It's a consensual murder hug. Yeah. I think when you do these,
each week they're gonna be like, Mickey says you could beat up this guy too. Like, here we go. Let's do it. I love it. I'm here for it.
Mickey Gall could have kicked Julius Caesar's
so much
ass.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But dude, if you're a fighter, you gotta believe you can beat everybody. Like, what the hell? But I think in these,
but I also can back it up with.
Oh yeah,
facts
prove it.
All day.
Are you like fighting soon or something? Prove it, bro.
Yeah,
like, Jesus.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, shit. I'll fight. I'm not fighting The Rock though or Bruce Lee, so it's like it doesn't really.
Yeah.
quantify.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am fighting 2 weeks from Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting April 9th, UFC 273. Fighting this kid who's new to the UFC. This is gonna be my 11th UFC fight. And you know what I find interesting? And this is something else. This is something else. Yeah, man, I'm a young vet for sure. Something I found interesting, have found and continue to find interesting is like people look at me and because I've had my whole career in the UFC. I got into the UFC at 1-0. I'd only been fighting even the amateurs for a year before that. I had like 1 year at amateurs. I won pro fight. Boom, I'm in the UFC. So people probably watch, and I'm happy to have all my growing pains and everything shown in front of the world. Wins, losses, all that stuff. I started out 4-0, and I took my first loss, and since then been like kind of back and forth with them, and it's people probably watch, and like I know they watch with their fucking douchebag friends, like I'd fucking kick his ass. They think shit's sweet. Mm-hmm. They might think shit's sweet, but they don't understand. I came up in this nuclear terranium of this UFC world. I grew every time I had a fight and a loss. You don't think I felt that a little extra in front of the whole world? You don't think I learned extra? You don't think I came back stronger and stronger and stronger? So, for this guy too, he probably thinks shit's sweet. He probably thinks like, oh, I gotta go on, but he just don't. And when these regional guys come up and they train with me, they feel that difference, and then they're mind fucked. I look at them after practice and they're just like, well, I told my friends I'd probably be able to beat him up, and why did I just get fucking mollywopped? Because that's. It's easy to talk about someone you're watching on TV versus
they're not ready for the nuclear terranium.
When you feel that real shit, bro, it's different.
Feel the nuclear terranium with a mollywop on the cranium. The CEO of the RNC in Jacksonville, 273.
Oh, I like that. The CEO of the RNC.
The CEO of the RNC.
Let's fucking go, baby.
So what's up, man? Is that how you gonna finish this thing? You gonna finish this thing with strikes? You gonna finish this thing with?
I could win it anywhere. I'm a superior striker, superior grappler. He actually, I've seen he's done some jiu-jitsu. I think if he wants to do some jiu-jitsu, he's gonna realize there's levels to this shit. And if he wants to strike, he's gonna also realize there's fucking levels to this shit. And I hope he'll come back and get another UFC fight after I fucking dust him. But I've been training with Sanford MMA. My shit's sharp right now. I'm training with every day with guys better than him. So
let it ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, any given fucking night, man. But I mean, that's you said something earlier that's really you have like a lot of people, they grow out of the public eye, and then when you're on the main stage, you've had those growing pains in silence almost. It's in comedy, it's a little bit weird because in comedy they make people to get stage time bring their friends and family. It's called a bringer.
Right.
And you're terrible. You're a horrible comedian. Right. It's when literally you're first starting out. So in a very weird way, when your friends and family are introduced to you as talent, you're nowhere near ready for them to be introduced to you as talent.
Right. And they're like, damn, like he kind of maybe he's not so good at this.
Yeah, and you gotta and it's like, look, it's not the same as getting punched in the face and having to wear it, but it's like your soul gets punched when you have people that you love show up for you.
And you're going there just trying to make everyone laugh, and everyone instead hates you.
They hate you. They're like, get this guy off the stage.
Yeah.
But you know what? It really does. It separates the wheat from the chaff, man, because it's like it's a hard thing to get back up on the stage after you've heard nothing but silence, nothing but crickets. And I imagine it's an incredibly hard thing to get up off the mat when, they raise somebody else's arm and you got to be standing there in front of 70,000 people.
Plus, and the way I look at it, there's only one fight I really lost, and that was the Diego Sanchez fight, and that's because I had fucking kidney failure. Like, I botched my weight cut, and I had, it was bad. Like, I should have pulled out and not fought. Like, 1 minute into the fight, I, barely had balance, in the cage. Like, it was fucking nuts.
Did you have, rhabdo or something like that?
I had rhabdo, yeah. I had, my kidney function was on, I almost had to go on dialysis.
Holy shit.
Just because again, learning on the job, learning how to cut weight, learning how to do all that stuff. I don't often weigh 170 pounds. You know what I mean? So
I will say, though, getting to know you, you are insanely disciplined, though. You are maybe the most disciplined guy I've ever met in my life.
Oh, thank you.
You're disciplined.
Yeah, I take pride in that. Thank you. But what I was going to say is, that's the only fight I really lost. All the other ones I just ran out of time. If it was fight to the death, brother, Mickey G's gonna. Don't give me a fucking weird face. I'm gonna come over there. Fucking rack.
Yeah. Those pitches.
I'll strangle you with this fucking
thing. Those pitchers didn't strike me out. I just ran out of strikes. All right. That's it. Those pictures, that's it. Nah.
That's a great fucking point.
Like, what? Nah,
That's a great point.
Nah. I never lost a baseball game in my life. We just ran out of innings.
Fight for an hour.
What are you, nuts?
Maybe a little bit, probably a little bit. But yeah, if there was like an hour fight or like that's actually something I want to start. I want to start like no limit fights.
Don't they
no
have,
limit MMA.
They have that in grappling, right?
They have, they do
60
have,
minute.
but then they'll like after 15 minutes, usually like they'll have like submission only.
Yeah.
But like, and I've done those. I had a 45-minute match.
They used to do this. This is like bare knuckles. They would have 120 rounds, and he's like.
Yes, and now it's hard to get like insurance and commissions.
Because
gotta
people
go.
died.
Yes, people died. But listen, again, why? So the same thing with if people want to take drugs, what you let them take drugs. You decriminalize drugs. Let people do what they want with their life. If people have an undeniable warrior gene inside them and they want to go fucking put their shit on the line, who the fuck are you to tell them you can't?
I feel like,
answer that, bitch.
I feel like you want to hunt humans. If people want to hunt humans, they should be allowed to hunt humans. Why can't we hunt humans? If
everyone consents, if everyone consents.
Honestly, I got no problem with it.
Yeah.
I got no problem with it.
I wouldn't think you were a fucking libertarian kingpin over here.
I have no problem with it. But sometimes you got to save people from themselves because, like, you know what? I mean, guys are ready to die, bro. Like, for real. Like, I really believe you would rather die in the ring than lose. I believe that.
100%. 100%.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think that, and I'd be surprised if that was uncommon. I think that's probably most fighters.
You think so?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's why I think success is a hard thing for a fighter. Because, like, you know, you got a family, you got a nice house, you got a crib, you got things to live for. It's hard to want to die in the ring.
Hard to go to war when you're sleeping in satin sheets.
Yeah.
Hard for a king to go to war when he sleeps in satin sheets.
Tough.
That's like kind of what people are saying with McGregor and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, though?
But look, that dude, and that's the other beauty of the game. Like, you don't get into this fight game because you're trying to be rich. Because it's not like that right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you ever hear Tyson Fury talk about this?
No.
Tyson Fury has an unbelievable, and you know, we're going to get into some topics soon here.
But he's like what I was going to say, because you're always fucking interrupting me. Oh, I forgot what I was.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying was Tyson Fury has a great. He has he talks about this, and it's like one of the craziest things. He's beating Klitschko, and he had waited his whole life to be the heavyweight champion, and he's in the middle of working Klitschko, and he's in the ring, fighting this dude, and he's getting sad and he's feeling depression. Come on, he's like, I'm going to be heavyweight champion of the world. I have nothing else to search for. I have nothing else to work towards. This is it.
He was getting sad while
he's beating it.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
I knew he got sad
crazy
after.
Story.
I knew he talked about that.
It's a crazy story. He's like, he's fighting him, and he knows he's winning, and he knows the guy can't do anything to hurt him. He's like, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion. And then I have nothing to search for. I have nothing to strive for. This is it. I did it. Like, he's in the ring. It's a crazy story. Yeah. But, I mean, that's, you know, imposter syndrome is a real thing. You know, the whole thing, too, man, when people are like, they go with they find an athlete or they find somebody that's, you know, in the public eye who's very, very good, you're literally top of the world at what you do. You're 1% of 1% in the world of what you do. And people, like, see that and they're like, well, you're cocky or you're this or you're that. And it's like, dude, like, you know.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
because I have something, but I will let you finish what you're saying first.
It's fine. It's fine. it's fine. As you are.
To that, I love you, G. To that point, people.
So anyway, what I was saying was,
I think people do like kind of, and I think it's like their own insecurities. Kind of, they'll look at like fighters or who will have confidence, and you know, you could call it cockiness or whatever. But I can tell you this: the nicest, most humble people I've met are fighters, and the reason being is because every fighter who walks into a gym that first day, they're looking at a whole room of people who can kick their ass. Right? You're looking at everybody in there, and you're a little nervous. It's hardest thing's walking in that door, like the first day, because you're like, this is an uncomfortable thing. Why would I want to be around a bunch of like trained killers? And then you see those trained killers come up to you, shake your hand, be nice to you, smile at you, tell you how to get better at how to make, because they want to get you sharp, so you can help them get better at being a trained killer. Yeah. So then they help you, and then you want to be the same way. And also, like, so that's part of it. That's one part of it, is that you want to be that same guy. You remember when you were uncomfortable, and you want to give that to other people. But also, and the people, the douchebags, get filtered out quick. Their ego can't take it. They can't take the losses you have to suffer in the beginning. They can't deal with getting tapped out 10 times in a class and feeling like helpless. You know what I mean? But you get that you get that confidence because you put yourself in uncomfortable positions. You know what I mean? You put yourself in uncomfortable positions, and you see how you react to them, and then you can actually have a reason to be proud of yourself, and that will give you actual confidence, not unfounded beer muscles and type shit. Like, it'll actually give you confidence because you actually have to learn about yourself. You learn more than yourself in a fight than you learn in 20 years.
So here's the thing. We talked about this, but this is the truth about it. Is like when people talk about hard work, and how hard work, the harder I work, the luckier I get, more confident. And, what ends up happening, it's not just the hours you put in, right? Because practice doesn't make perfect. I hate that saying. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement. And bad practice makes you worse. If you have a bad coach, if you have a bad program, you can put in a ton of hours and get worse.
Absolutely.
But if you're surrounding yourself, this is why I say I learned more in my 18 months with the Cardinals than I learned in 18 years of baseball before. If you're around the best in the world at what they do, and you're constantly competing against the best of the world, and you're getting feedback from the best of the world, what ends up happening is in those hours, you start going up against people that are great. And you say, man, I'm better than this guy. Or at the very least, I can hang. And everybody in the world says, this guy's great. I must be great. Like, so that's where the practicing, putting yourself in that Shark Tank. People that go to try to be the big fish in a small pond, especially in athletics, it's the old adage where if you're the smartest guy in the room, find another room. Because if you're training and you're in the best of the world and you're amongst the best in the world, you have an instant feedback loop immediately that I can hang or I can't.
Right.
Like look at Alabama football. Alabama football's secondary players, their second-line players could start in any other school in the country, except maybe Ohio State, maybe Clemson, like 3 other schools.
Yeah.
And why do they constantly churn out? Because they're practicing against each other every single day. If I'm going up against a first-round draft pick wide receiver, and I'm the second there, and I'm the second-string cornerback, I'm covering that dude. If I'm locking him up, guess what? I can lock up anybody. And if I don't believe in myself, nobody's going to come up to you. It's never happened. Like, they have this whole idea of, like, don't talk about yourself. I've never in my life, had a stranger come up to me randomly on the street and just be like, dude, you're great. Like, it doesn't happen. Men don't get complimented. Beautiful women get complimented. People who are trying to get something from you will kiss your ass.
People compliment me all the time.
Yeah. Like I said, beautiful women get complimented. And so if you don't have the confidence in yourself to say, very matter-of-factly, this is what I'm going to do, then you know what? You got no shot, bro.
Yeah.
You got no shot. Now, you could just be quiet, and that's fine. No problem. But I have no...
You got to have that internal dialogue.
Bro, I have no problem with anybody that says, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And then if they don't get it done, they got to own up to it after. That's the other side of it. It's like, it's going to get it done. But, anyway.
Who's the best podcaster in the fucking world, Gerard?
Right now, Joe Rogan. After that, Patty Mac. After that, I'm coming for him. Coming for him.
Fucking A.
Coming for him.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Clip that shit.
But before that, we got to save America. So that was a fun little opening. I'm gonna, hopefully.
Was it fun?
Yeah. You're on edge.
I'm a little cagey.
You're ready.
I'm a little edgy.
Yeah.
And I'm embarrassed how I went half brain dead, but then ended up being funny how I got to interrupt you.
It's all
Cutting
good.
weight, dog. Couldn't wait. Thank God for these fucking energy drinks over here.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, and these Ready things, bro, I got to give you some more of these. These things are fucking money.
Dope.
These things are dope. These Ready Nutritions, bro.
This dude's doing 3-a-days and shit. All you do is train, sleep, shit.
Train, sleep,
shit.
Yeah, I train, eat, sleep, shit.
That's it, man.
That's it, bro.
Not me.
Nah.
Not me.
No?
I fornicate.
I fornicate.
I philander and fornicate.
That's the Mike Tyson rule. That's the Mike Tyson rule. Anyone seen that? You know what I'm talking about? Whenever he was he's doing an interview, and a girl asks him a question, a female, a woman, and he goes, I don't usually do interviews with women unless I fornicate with them first. So unless you wanna,
Mike Tyson.
You should just be quiet.
Mike Tyson.
Dude,
America's drunk uncle.
That is one of the best, he's a fucking national treasure, and that doesn't even cover it enough.
No.
Have you seen also how intelligent he is and how far he's come in his life, how thoughtful he is? Yeah.
A lot of very introspective.
That's one of my favorite.
Therapy, man. Therapy is an important thing.
Don't ask me if I think I'd beat him up too, because
Who would win in a fight between Mickey Gall and Mike Tyson?
I'm gonna definitend take a shot. UFC. I'm not getting punched by him.
UFC,
I'm not getting hit by him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good thing I have wrestling.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm thank goodness that I've been taught some great wrestling and some great submissions in my life. Mm-hmm. And I can trip a person who only has one art and make them fall down and then kind of cover them.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Fucking enough of this.
It's going to be nothing but EA Sports, just Mike Tyson raining down blows on Mickey Gall, just raining down. Dude, can you imagine being Mike Tyson publicist? Can you imagine, like, just working with Mike Tyson as they're like, Mike, you know, he's doing the Robin Givens thing. And they're like, you know, Mike, did you beat your wife? And his response is like, did I beat my wife? I'm 225 pounds. If I hit her, her head would come right off her shoulders. I'd kill her. I'd disintegrate her organs. Point. It's like, okay, Mike,
it's like
stop.
You're correct, Michael.
Mike, just say no. I love her. I love my wife. No, I love my life. I would never do that. No, don't say it's a physics problem with what you're asking here. That's Mike Tyson busts out the sports science guys, and it's like, if I actually hit her at the velocity, her head would come off her shoulders. It's a physical impossibility. Her organs would reverberate within her body, breaking her spine. So clearly, I didn't. Mike, just say I love my wife. No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
But he literally was like, what do you mind? Of course I didn't hit her. She'd be dead.
What you got written on that paper over there?
Well, speaking of women, bro, our new Supreme Court nominee from, Joe Byron. He puts out, he says that he's proudly going to nominate the first black female for Supreme Court. Awesome. Except one, it wasn't the first black female nominated. The Republicans under George Bush did that, and Byron filibustered against it 20 years ago. That's numero uno. Numero dos, the first black woman was asked to define what a woman is. And she says, and I quote,
"No,
I don't know. I'm not a biologist." I'm not a biologist. The Supreme Court justice cannot ascertain what a woman is because she's not a biologist.
A Supreme Court justice, like a person who's gonna put people in jail and like render decisions on people's lives,
the
and
rule
things like that.
of law in the entire country. Yes,
a law person.
Yes,
she's legal folk. She's legal folk.
She's legal.
She's the leader of the legal
folk.
And she says, "I can't determine what a woman is."
That's right. Now,
oh boy.
In fairness to her, she is not a biologist, but I am not a chef.
If they have a
but
vagina,
I can tell you what pizza is.
If they have a vagina, it's a girl.
Yeah.
If it's got a winky, it's a boy. We learned that very young
How dare
age.
you? You're canceled. Transphobic. How dare you?
That is
2 + 2 =
that's
5.
very problematic nowadays.
I just don't understand, man. I don't understand the hill that we're dying on with this. I don't understand it. Look. Nobody is saying if you want to act like, I don't believe in traditional gender roles. I don't believe in it. If you're a woman and you want to work 60 hours a week and you want to wear fucking Wrangler jeans, go for it. I don't care.
But also, if you want to take care of kids and you want to have a more traditional female role, then you shouldn't be shamed, or you should be God bless you for that too. Yeah, whatever you want your life to be.
1,000. 100%. Absolutely, man. I don't look. This idea.
And even if you're a boy and want to be a girl,
go for it.
Okay, go for it. Great.
Go for it.
Good.
Go for it.
Should you be smacking up all these women in the fucking
I don't
sports?
know about that, though. See, this is the thing, right? And I, we had Zuby. Zuby's a G.
Zuby's
a
don't know who Zuby
music.
is.
Great guy, Zuby.
Right.
Zuby is the world's record holder for the female deadlift.
Is that the guy who went, I'm identifying myself as a woman?
That's right.
And then lifted the shit?
Nailed it.
I've seen that, so Zuby. I do know who Zuby is.
Zuby's the man. Zuby's awesome. And Zuby is still, to this day, the women's record holder.
Oh, goodness gracious, man.
It's a South Park. Life is South Park now. Technically, theoretically speaking.
Technically or theoretically speaking?
Literally, technically, theoretically speaking. I have 1 year of eligibility left in the NCAA.
bro.
I could tomorrow. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I'm not a biologist.
Right.
I could wake up tomorrow a woman.
Bro, you about to go walk on a Miami
I
softball?
can go to the U, and they would have to, by law, put a metal bat in my giant ass hands and have me stand 45 feet away from a 17-year-old girl taking murder hacks. Murder. I would walk up to the plate. I'd walk up to the plate,
golly.
like seriously, walk up to the plate. And I feel like I almost have to do it I have to do it. Because
all right, so this is how,
I have to
write in if you guys want to see Gerard. Definitely hit some comments if you guys want to see Gerard walk on.
I have to be true to myself.
Make him hold him accountable. Make him commit to this shit.
I've been living a lie for too long.
It's a safe space. You can talk to me.
Man, I feel like a woman. And I'm
hey,
telling you.
Live your truth, dog.
Yeah. Shania Twain speaks to me. And I think that I'm going to go to the University of Iowa and become a female wrestler. I'm gonna do rugby at Penn State. I'm gonna go to the University of Miami.
Yeah, man, seize the day.
And I'm literally gonna stand up to the plate. I'm gonna take strike one, and they're gonna throw, and I'm gonna look at the crowd. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna swing next time. You can all stop this. This is your last chance to stop this.
You guys sure?
Everybody,
are you sure? Umpire, you're
going to swing.
And everyone's gonna be like, you're so brave.
You're so brave.
You're so brave.
I smoke a ball at 120-mile exit velocity. It leaves an actual indent in some poor girl's collarbone.
Wow, the bravery.
And I get stunning and brave.
And beautiful.
Yep.
And can I say beautiful? You were a beautiful woman, sir.
Geraldine McCalla broke her NCAA record with her 413th home run today. Stunning and brave. Woman of the Year, Geraldine McCalla. Oh, man. It's lunacy. Yeah. It's lunacy. Yeah. Like, God bless.
You know what
man.
it is? And know what I think it is?
I want trans people to feel happy. I want them. But you know what's crazy? All of the trans people I know, and not like I know 5. You know, like they all of them think this is bullshit. Yeah. There's not a single one of them that's like, this is a good thing. It's not one of them. It's this damn intelligentsia. Yeah. It's this cabal of.
Caitlyn Jenner was saying that she
what
disagrees.
What an all-time tweet. What an all-time tweet. And then the Pink News came after and was like,
she disagrees with it.
Yeah, homophobe, transphobe Caitlyn Jenner comes out and says
she's a transphobe.
Yeah,
she said.
Yeah,
I don't want to say the word wrong because I'm a
dude.
What is the proper thing?
She retweeted and she goes, "No, I just have the balls to stand up for women's sport."
Is that the right word? A transgender?
She's the guy playing a dude playing another guy. Nah, she's
no, because I know the thing that another word for like a transmission. You're not allowed to say that.
Bro, I don't know.
There's words you can't say, dude. Words are very
yeah.
Right?
No, can't say it. No, you can't.
And you know what I think it is? I think the reason why we focus so much on words is because we want to avoid the big issues like climate change and child rape.
Always oh god.
Child rape.
Climate's been changing.
So we're not worrying about that. So we're gonna worry about, you know what I mean? We're gonna worry about.
Dude,
worry about this.
Listen, to me, this is the dumbest hill. This is the dumbest hill. The dumbest. It's just, how are we going to like? We're just like. No, I don't see it. I don't. No.
Hey, I hope you get an outpouring from the trans community the same way I did from the Bruce Lee community.
Bro, I am all for individual rights. I'm all for. They want to talk about marginalized communities. You know what the number one minority is? The individual. That is the world's smallest minority. The individual. I don't care what group you associate with. I don't care what tribe. I don't care what whether you're a Clipper, whether you're a Crip, a Blood, or a mask-wearing Democrat. I don't care what your gang is. I don't care. The individual is all that matters to me. The individual is holy, right? The individual can make changes to their everyday life that impact all of us. And unless we as individuals, each and every one of us, instead of looking around, we call them look-arounds in comedy, right? It's almost always middle-aged white women, too. Just saying what it is. This is just real.
Yo, we're clipping this shit, too. This is why the world loves fucking Gerard Michaels right now.
It's middle-aged white women. We call them look-arounds. So, like, if you're in a room and you're telling a joke and it's, like, slightly even, like, towing the line, And you know me.
People look around to see if they get approval. Can I laugh at this? Can I clap?
If there is a black woman in the room specifically,
yeah,
she's the catalyst for the whole crowd.
Right.
Every white woman looks at her. Did she laugh? Okay, it's okay to laugh. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. If she doesn't laugh, they how dare you?
Yeah. Then they we didn't like that.
Nah, man. So they don't. So they're not living their lives. People are not living their lives right now. Everything is through the filter of, is my opinion acceptable to the people I hope it's acceptable to? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's no way to live, man.
It's no.
That's a terrible way to live.
It's no way to live. Is it acceptable to the people I hope like me? Right?
Yeah.
And that's where this, I call it revenge of the nerds. What we're living in right now is the revenge of the nerds. It's Silicon Valley. If you ever met anybody that works at Facebook? You ever met anybody that works at Google?
No, I don't think so.
It's not the high school quarterback and the prom queen, right? So you have, and this is just my theory, and this is a conspiracy. Don't believe anything we say. This is a suggestion, disclaimer. All right, this is all opinion. But what I think happened is I think that there's people that grew up in like Walmart America, Central, God, guns, glory, country America. And they weren't playing under the Friday night lights. They weren't part of the football team. They didn't fit into that culture. And then they left. And they, through the Pareto principle, they overtook areas where they felt accepted. Brooklyn, LA. And they overtook places where they felt powerful. The entertainment industry, education industry. And now everything that we're feeling, everything that we're seeing is a reverberation. This is their clap back. On who they thought was the bullies when they were growing up. This is their this is their way of saying
and in a lot of ways the people who are like who were like not the not athletically inclined and weren't the party animals and whatever tend to be more successful people. You know what I mean? They peak. They don't peak in high school. They peak later, and and by the way, those guys, Mickey G was always looking out for you and taking care of you. No one bullied you when I was around. Anyone from Greenbrook, New Jersey could vouch for that shit. I had their back, so
you're lucky Bruce Lee wasn't bullying them. He would have tuned all your fucking boys up.
I would have whooped Bruce Lee for you guys. Nah,
bro. But seriously, right? In a way, right? We're all learning about this for the first time in the history of our species, because these people have never had a voice in the history of our species. The internet. Being able to be vocal from a distance, not having to answer for anything that you say. Like, imagine if you said, can you imagine knowing my grandfather, the John Wayne era, if somebody came to them and was like, that's a girl, he'd be like, shut up. One smack in the back of it, shut up. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and dude, and that's funny. All the older people who have to learn on the spot all the stuff that had been true to them. Can you I feel bad for them.
I can't imagine.
And like they're trying to be.
I can't imagine.
I would love to be able to talk to either of mine about that shit. Holy.
I fought I saw my buddies die in the muck in Japan for this shit.
Yeah, I was flying.
You know what? Yeah.
Airplanes in the war. Yeah. Like what?
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, my God almighty, dude. But this is prosperity. This is decadence. This is that, the grind of society, the parallel, the heartbeats of society. Freedom never lasts for very, very long. It's always a very, very small moment in time. It goes from tyranny. This is the Hegelian dialect, right? It goes from, authoritarianism to freedom for a very small period to authoritarianism. And all of those are triggered by, unfortunately, conflict. So a guy like you and a guy like me, we're antiquated technology. That's really what we are. Your body, my body, what we are is we are battleships in an age of drones. You know what I'm saying? Like your success for the history of our species, hundreds of thousands of years, was predicated on your ability and willingness to be violent and to, your ability to protect your genes and your species and your family and to acquire resources and to till the fields. Now, none of that stuff is a precursor for success.
Right.
You know, the stronger you are. It's crazy. MSNBC just came out with a story and said that fitness gurus are right-wing extremists, tend to be right-wing extremists. So like gym culture, and it's a gateway to right-wing extremism. It's like, wait a minute, what? So now people who can
who like work out and try and be healthy and try and get some endorphins in your life. That's being shamed.
I think the left, I really do. I think the global left is pushing too far. I think that there's a lot of people that are going, what? No. And there's a lot of people that have been Democrats for a long, long, long time that are going, no. Look at Bill Maher. Look at Russell Brand. They're calling Bill Maher and Russell Brand right wing now. If Bill Maher and Russell Brand are right wing, what exactly is left wing anymore? Like, how far left do you have to be? Like, it's, you know, first of all, left and right is an antiquated thing. I ascribe to the horseshoe theory, okay? So the idea that left and right are like two opposite ends of a line, it's dog shit. It's wrong. It's a horseshoe. The further left you go and the further right you go, the closer they are. Fascism, Nazis, National Socialism, and communism, much, much closer to each other than they are to Republicans or Democrats or anything in the middle. Much, much closer. Matter of fact, Nazis, the Nazi Party is National Socialist German Workers' Party. So people think that communists are the antithesis of Nazis. They're not. They're identical twins in many ways. They're brothers. They're not foes. They're not equal opposites. They're two different forks on the same, you know, on the same line here. One is National Socialism, that's fascism. The other is Global Socialism, that's communism. That's really the only difference between the two, nationalism versus globalism. So, you know, anyway, you know, when we get back to like, what's this have to do with the Supreme Court? What's this have, like, because society breaks down, man, when the rule of law doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, can you imagine being in New York right now? Being in New York, you lost your job because you didn't want to be a lab rat for an experimental medication. Right. And after you lost your job, after they locked you up, after you lost your business, they say, it's no big deal. It's okay. You don't need it anymore, as long as you're a professional athlete or a performer. But the rest of you plebeians better do what I say, or else you can't work in my city. You can't work here unless you do, you know. You got that passport. You got that passport, which is just let's call it what it is. It's a permission slip from the Democratic Party. It's a permission slip to eat. Right. It's a permission slip to, you know, work. Yeah, man. I've showed fealty to. That's
not a HIPAA violation too.
Apparently not. But that's the thing, man. What do laws mean anymore? What do laws mean? What's the Constitution mean anymore?
That's always the thing. Like when they start putting in these like new like sanctions and stuff, rarely do they make new laws and then take them back.
Never.
You know what I mean? Like they make these rules and then they don't really take them back. They just kind of stay there.
Ever.
Yeah. So you always got to be careful with that shit.
More than that, brother. Like, imagine you don't like something. Your neighbor. You don't like that your neighbor is playing music too loud. Would you go over to your neighbor and point a gun at him and say, turn this down, or else I'm going to put you in a box for a week?
No.
No, you'd be a lunatic.
Yeah.
But what do people think calling the cops on their neighbor is? What is a cop? Yeah. Cop is a man with a gun who's going to threaten violence against somebody and is either going to extort them for cash or extort their freedom. That's what arresting is. Arresting somebody is taking their freedom until they give the government their money. It's extortion at gunpoint.
Yeah.
But people are so quick to call the cops. People are so quick, and we're so quick to make laws. The more laws we make, right, the more people have to enforce them.
Yeah.
This was the whole thing with Kaepernick and all these guys. Kaepernick's back in the news. This is the thing where Kaepernick lost me, man. Look, he should have never been blackballed, but also I don't think he should have ever been made into the, the social saint that he was. Right. This is none of this is happening organically, right? This is all coming from a place. There are global entities that are trying to use the best parts of people. Their sympathy, their empathy. And they're using it and they're weaponizing it against all of us. There's, you want to call them the globalists, you want to call it whatever you want to call it, but it's the truth. And they know that, America's original sin is slavery. Right. And that they're always going to be able to pull at that thread. They're always going to be able to pull at that thread. And then you look at a guy like Kaepernick, this is, Ron Paul had a great statement once. Ron Paul once said, the problem with communists is that they're right about everything that's wrong. They know what's wrong with America. They know what's wrong, and they're right. Bernie Sanders is right with his diagnosis of what's wrong in America. Where they lose is they come up with solutions that would make it worse, right? And this is where Kaepernick lost me. Where Kaepernick is talking about police brutality, then he comes out in supporting Castro, supporting socialism, supporting the state. It's not capitalists, it's not capitalism that are out there hurting minorities.
Yeah, that's not the issue.
It's the state. So then how can the response to the state, how can the response to state violence, if you really believe in institutional racism, if you actually believe there's institutional racism, how can your response to that to be, we should make the institution much more powerful, larger, and more overarching? Mm-hmm. If you really thought Donald Trump was Hitler, why do you want Donald Trump in charge of your health care? Like this is the aspect of it, right? AOC talks about this stuff all the time. AOC just did this whole thing on TikTok, this whole like whisper thing where she was like, newsflash, most people don't know what capitalism is. Most people don't know what socialism is. So all you got to do is talk policies. And then she doesn't talk policies. She talks platitudes the whole time. She just appeals to emotion. She's like, do you think that billionaires should be able to burn the country down so they can make more money on oil, burn the earth? It's like, wait, so either I agree with you or I think the earth should burn. Those are the two options I have.
Yeah,
that's the two options I have.
Yeah.
Either I give the bartender all my money or the earth burns. They never have to prove their work. They never have to show their work. They never have to show. We gave the government $9 trillion in the last 2 years, ushered in unreal inflation. Is everybody's life better for it? No, because they always like, well, we tried. We had to do something. We tried. No.
Right, and inflation is definitely bad.
It's not. So inflation is so bad because it affects
everyone.
It affects the working class the most.
Yeah.
It steals hours of your life. If you think, what is money?
Right, no, it's a good way of putting it, man. Yeah,
money's a representation of the hours of your life.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Right? So if it's not like
it's devaluing that.
It's devaluing the hours you've already worked. It's not even like you can make a decision and be like, I don't want to work this. This isn't worth it anymore. Right. Like they're having trouble because the younger generation doesn't want to work. They're calling this the Great Resignation.
Yeah. Because
people are looking at their bosses and they're like, no, I'm not doing that crap. I'm not working 60 hours a week. I'm not going and schlepping into that office. Nah. For $15 an hour, screw it. No, because that's not even a half a tank of gas anymore. It's not worth an hour of my life is not even worth a half a tank of gas. No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that is the one half of it, but then they steal people that they've already worked their whole lives. Imagine working 30 years and you did it the right way. You didn't live off your credit cards. You didn't declare bankruptcy. You saved. And now the money that you save is worth 80% of what it's worth.
Yes.
You saved up a certain amount of money thinking, okay, this is what I need to survive. This is what I need to help get my kids.
Now I'm depressed, though.
Dude, it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. There is a global communist plot. Whatever. I hate these words.
Nah, bro, come on. Go get into it. Go for it.
Dude,
say what it is. That's what's good about you, bro.
They want to break it. They want to break us. They want to make it so that you don't believe what your eyes are seeing. You don't believe what your ears are hearing. They want us to hate each other based on things we can't change. Imagine that.
That's the divisiveness.
You're born with a skin color. You don't choose a skin color.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're born with it. You're born with a sex or a gender.
I love this. What makes us all the same is that we're all different.
Yes.
And that's what makes us the same. Everybody's different. Not one person is alike. And that's what makes us equal.
Dude, there was a time where our differences were our strengths. Like, there was a time where...
You don't think that's the time? This is the time anymore?
No. There's a sensitivity to things now that I think that we're resenting what's different about each other. That's
why everyone's getting the fake lips and the fake tits and the fucking...
We're hyper cognizant of everything in ways that I don't think that we were.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I had no idea whose parents were Republican, whose parents were Democrat. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Now we know everything about it. That's about social media. A lot of this comes from Twitter, man. Twitter 2009. Track what's happened in our country since 2009.
Yeah, that's why I love that, how you said, like, how they're dividing us. Like, I love that meme where it's like, where it's the people up on the castle, and they're down there's the pitchfork people and the torch people, and they're like, as long as the pitchfork people are mad at the torch people, we're gonna be okay.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
The people up at top are they want to keep us mad at each other. The Democrats and Republicans or whatever, however people are, and as long as we're warring it out, they can get away with what they want.
That's a great point, because then you don't start asking questions like, wait, didn't we all just bankrupt ourselves and wear masks and put ourselves on glorified house arrest for 2 years? Because if it saves just one life, then we just turned around and sent $350 million of missiles to the Ukraine. How do you justify it?
Yeah.
In what world? How do you justify it?
Yeah.
And even before that, the very first thing Biden did when he took office was he bombed Syria. The first thing he did. He gave Raytheon $8 billion, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but it was an insane amount of money. It might have been not $8 billion. I think it was like $250 billion. Right? And the ex-CEO of Raytheon happens to be our new Secretary of Defense. Weird.
Go figure.
Yeah. So, but if it saves just one life,
right.
Also let's go to war. But if it saves just one life, but also let's do a no-fly zone and start war.
Yeah, it's very hypocritical.
Which way we going with this, bro?
Yeah.
You know,
and whatever works for that
and the
cause.
Gaslighting, the
for
idea,
their cause,
dude.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, Biden's got he's going straight Shaggy with everything. He's Shaggy. Everything's
But you
Vladimir
got me
Putin.
on the counter.
Wasn't me. Vladimir
But you
Putin.
got me on the sofa.
Wasn't me.
Fucking Vladimir Putin.
It wasn't me. Why is gas so high? This guy Putin over here. This guy Putin been doing this thing. Yeah. Hey, what's
It wasn't me.
Yeah. He's got the Shaggy diplomacy. Hey, what's going on with this? What's going on with these Steele dossier? It turns out, your son's laptop actually was it's kind of a big deal, as it turns out. I don't know about any laptop. What are you talking about? I don't have a son.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Come on. Uncle Joe. Nah, man. Nah, corruption like this is bad. People can't stand being made fools of. And if our leaders just continue to sell us out, if our idols are just like so obviously, beholden to somebody else, and I hope Kaepernick comes back. I hope he balls.
He's going to come back to the NFL?
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to sign him.
Deadass?
Yeah. I hope he, no athlete, I don't think anybody should ever not be allowed to do what they're great at because of a position that they hold. That is cancel culture.
Right.
This idea that I don't agree with you, so you have to disappear, it's thought genocide. It's a digital gulag. It's the same thing that they did putting these people in camps, but instead of doing it, on a physical level, we're doing it on a metaphysical level. We're doing it, digitally. We're making them disappear in the world where most of us actually do our business.
Right.
Right? You can make an argument that the social world is more real than the real world in many ways. We interact with more people there. We do more of our work there. We spend more of our lives there than we almost do in the real world. So making people disappear there, if you don't exist online, you can't work in half the industries in America anymore.
Wow. Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
So, yeah, man.
It's just crazy.
Anyway, that's
all right. We're gonna talk about something a little lighter now.
Yeah, who would win in a fight between you and Mick Foley? Yeah, man. So look, it is lighter because you know what, man? I think people are waking up to it. I think people are sick about it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I'm seeing people from all walks of life that are waking up to it.
Yeah.
People, dude, at the end of the day, man, we better take care of this thing. Because if it goes away, it gets ugly. It gets ugly quick.
Yeah.
We have the most prosperous nation in the history of the world. We are the most prosperous human beings we've ever walked the planet Earth.
Right.
And we're fucking it up.
But
we don't have to, though. We can make the decision tomorrow to be like, no, dude, I'm not letting a 6'4", 200-pound man swim against women. I'm not doing it. No, come on. What are we doing? Like, come on. Like, I feel like people have forgotten you have the right to be an asshole still.
Yeah.
Like, you can be that guy. Like, do I have to be that guy? I'll be that guy. I can see your schlong. Stop it. What are we doing? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, male swim isn't in an hour.
It's important to have that guy, man.
You gotta be the guy.
Gotta be some more of those guys. People gotta speak their truth.
We got the Supreme Court justice, the person that's gonna be one of the most powerful people in the world. What's a woman? I'm not a biologist. Come on.
Yeah, it's a cop out.
It's an innie or an outie. Come on, what do you got here? It's an A-B question.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And look, on a philosophical level, you know, critical theory is interesting. On a philosophical level, it's interesting. Critical theory really comes from the Frankfurt School, and it's made to destabilize a country. It's made specifically to destabilize a country because communist revolution can't happen in a stable society. People don't want revolution in a happy society. They have to break it for people to be ready for revolution.
Right.
So they're intentionally trying to destabilize the fabric of our society intentionally. You know, and we're all to blame for this, for letting this go on for so long, for letting it take over the schools. It's taking over education.
Yeah.
There's I believe it was Seattle or it was Chicago. I forget which one. I should have done more research. But there's a teacher strike. And the strike, they don't want more money. They don't want less hours. They want an end to capitalism and the patriarchy. That's what they're striking for. Okay. What I want is an end to state-sponsored schooling. School choice. You want to be a teacher? Teacher makes $30,000 a year in New Jersey. Starting salary, $35,000. Each student costs the taxpayer $14,000.
Wow.
22 or 24 in an Abbott district. Teachers have 20-plus students in a class. There's $600,000 worth of students in their class. They're making $35,000. If you're a teacher, you should be so for school choice. You can start, you know, Mickey Gall's school for kids who don't read good and want to learn to do other things good too, and charge $14,000.
What is this? A building for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger.
He's absolutely right. So, dude, think about it. You can charge $10,000, less than the state gives them, and you have 20 kids in class. $200,000. Which would you rather do? If you're a teacher, that's what you should be doing.
Sure.
You know? So, and that's the way that we take this stuff back. We take it back with education. We take it back by having honest conversations. We take this stuff back by putting ourselves out there in a way that's like, these people probably aren't gonna sponsor us now. But, you know?
Yeah, you fucked it up.
Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, you're gonna go down and you're laying in the dirt and you're gonna be like, well, at least I didn't say anything that upset the sponsors.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Nah, man, we're all gonna be dead.
Yeah.
100 years from now, all of us.
Yeah, bro.
In the dirt.
Dude, somebody punches you.
It's over.
And you back up. Do they just stop punching you? Or they come after you?
They come after you.
Until you punch back.
Right.
So, we got to punch back. You know, that's my thoughts on that.